Today on r/IDontWorkHereLady. Does anyone else just go along with it? I get asked for assistance on the regular, and for a while I figured the most helpful thing I could do was to try and explain that I don't work there. Because, I'm not qualified. But then I realized they'd decided I was qualified to help, so I couldn't make it any worse. Nowadays, if I'm in the mood or have time, I'll see how much of the request I can meet. Sometimes it's easy, like reaching something. Maybe they want to know where an item is, so I'll just go look for them. Other times I'll just approach a member of staff and ask. That can go several ways either. The person realizes at this point I don't work here, and merriment and embarrassment ensues. The staff member takes over my role seamlessly, and the person is none the wiser. Or the person doesn't even notice the staff member and they carry on their day still thinking I was the one who got them extra toilet roll from the back. It feels like a little side quest from the universe. Maybe I'm also lucky that where I live, older generations asking for help don't tend to fall into the belligerent a-hole category. Otherwise, I'd probably be less inclined to help. For our next story. Defused a Karen today. Was wandering through a different brand of big box hardware store, as I am spending the weekend away from home for work, and heard the wind up of the turbo for a Bitch-O-Matic 5000. The growing in loudness, I can't believe how unhelpful everyone is, why people won't do their jobs, how hard is it to blah 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 etc. Normally this would be my cue to nope on out of the area, but I don't have anything better to do. I casually walked by to see what the actual EF was going on, and this woman with a cart loaded up with flooring tiles is complaining to this young lady who might have been 85 pounds soaking wet about her, not taking the woman's cart out to her car and loading it in. The young woman is trying to tell her that she will call someone over to help, but Karen is not listening. I am pretty much free to do whatever I want, so I asked her if I could help. Karen refuses and starts to insist that it's this poor girl's problem. I mentioned that I don't mind helping, and as long as it gets done, why would she care that who does it? You angry I can do it? She pushed her crap out the door, and as I drove away she was loading her own shit into her own car, just like a normal person. And I still don't work there. Let's dive into our next story. I deliver the sauces. Not a super long story, but one that made me laugh the other day. I work for a certain package delivery company that only deals with international packages. Our company colors are yellow and red with a bit of black. Friday before I went out en route, I decided to go by McDonald's and grab something to eat. As I'm standing in line, an older gentleman comes up to me and asks if I could grab him some sauces. I just go, "Oh, I don't work here, sorry." He blinks and peeks around to look at the back of my shirt. It has the company logo on it, and goes, "Oh, you deliver the sauces." This made us both laugh. Got my food, he got his sauces, and we bid each other farewell. Not dramatic, but made my morning. On to the next story. Karen expected me to leave my job, bakery, to go next door to serve her there. Butcher. I worked for 7 years at a French cafe and bakery at their various locations around town, so I could write a book on all the stupid nonsense that my poor ears have had to endure. This is more of a, I don't work there lady story. So this particular store was located inside a big fruit market in a fancy pants suburb, and there was a row of various different standalone business inside along the back wall. Florist, our bakery, butcher, fish place that also did banging sushi. You get the idea. Working at this store you soloed it for the most part, as it was the only one not a cafe, as it was all just takeaway baked products, cakes, sandwiches, etc. So you couldn't even leave to pee until someone came in for the lunch rush or it was closing time. If you were desperate, you'd ask the florist next door to just keep an eye on it for literally 2 men while you ran like Usain Bolt. On this day, a woman walked in, and this is roughly how it went. This was 10+ years ago now, so I can't remember the fancy meat she wanted, so let's just say ham. Karen, I was wanting to get some ham. Me. Oh, okay. Well, we don't sell that here, but if you go next door the butcher should have some. Karen, yes, I know, but there's no one there, can you go get it for me? Me. Awkward laugh. No. I don't work there. You'll need to go there to get it. Karen, can't you just go over and get it for me? Me. No, I can't leave this shop unattended as I'm the only one working here at the moment, plus that's a separate business. I work for this franchise. The butcher is part of Fruit Market. Karen, but it's only just on the other side of the wall, I don't see why you can't just go and get it for me. Me. Because I can't leave my work unattended. You will need to find someone who works there. Karen walks off annoyed. The rest of my shift left me going between WTF and wondering where on the graph chart of stupid entitled she sat. For our next story. I promise you I don't work here. My job has me working in a couple of local grocery stores a couple of days a week. I'm not a brand rep, I don't wear any branded clothing. I also intentionally avoid wearing the colors of the store brand. Since my job has me bending, reaching, and kneeling a lot, I'm usually in leggings and things like Disneyland t-shirts, or shirts with cute sayings. Inoffensive stuff like that. I've also got on a mini backpack for my stuff and a tablet or phone that I'm working on. Despite this, I often have people stop me and ask if I work at the store. That's fine, I get it. I'm clearly working, and I'm in the store, so if they are nice when they ask, I try to help them anyway. I'm in those stores a lot, and I know where a lot of stuff is, and if I don't know, I know exactly who they can ask. If they aren't nice, I just say, I don't work here, and move on. One day I'm doing my thing, listening to my podcast, when I feel someone watching me. I glance over my shoulder, and sure enough, I'm getting the lead paint stare from an old man at the end of an aisle. I keep working, but I'm working my way down the aisle in his direction. Eventually, I get close enough to him that he asks, "Do you work here?" I don't like his vibe, so I just tell him I don't and try to move on. He stops me though and says, "Well, you look like you work here." I just say, "Okay, well I don't," and once again try to move around him. This man starts following me around the store, just telling me, almost yelling, that I look like I work there. Mind you, he hasn't asked me anything else. No, I just want to know where the pickles are or anything. I try to ignore him, but eventually I can't anymore. I turn, put on my mum voice, and say, "I promise you I don't work here, because if I did, I would have you kicked out for harassment." He shuffled away after that. Let's dive into our next story. I do work here, lady, and I'm not stealing. Maybe the weirdest experience I had at a job, and probably top 5 weirdest experience of my life. So, most businesses will sell things for cheaper when they are close to the due date, so that they can recoup at least some, if not all of the cost of the product. I was working the freezers and filling one up with some of those vacuum-packed meat cuts, which was going for nearly half price. For context, this specific clearance had a rule where you could only buy 3 pieces. I had a cart with me and was filling the freezer up again. Yeah, someone effed up so bad we had over 100 pieces to sell in less than a week before they went bad. I don't know, not my job to check dates, my job is to fill freezers when a Hexbot woman comes. Of course, I was wearing the full uniform of the place and was currently leaning on the freezer while neatly placing the meat packs on it, and she just shrieks, like full-on Banshee-style shriek, then says I am stealing the meat. I'm not sure if she is from Contrary Land or whatever the F, but at least here in normal reality, putting something from your cart into a freezer is literally the opposite of stealing, but I digress. She then wrestles a piece of meat out of my hands and puts it on her cart, does the same for 2 more, and tells me she will call security. LP comes. Asks both me and her what is going on. I say nothing and try keep doing my job, but she again stops me and says I am a thief and am taking more meat than it's allowed by the rules. The guy visibly sighs. She asks if we think she is an idiot, and I don't resist and start laughing, like ugly laughing. She gets visibly pissed off at me laughing, and I am trying to recover my composure until LP guy says all is fine, and I am just restocking the freezer. She says I should have just told her that I did 4 times, and goes on a tirade about how incompetent everyone is, how this store is crap, and how the workers don't even wear their uniforms. Then my cap with the store logo mysteriously falls from my head, and I make an effort to pick it and put it back on my head, then grab a pen from my shirt pocket which has the store logo. Without saying a word but visibly smirking. She tells me she will talk to the manager about how the snotty-nosed teenage workers he hired are a bunch of lazy and arrogant pieces of crap. I am effing 20, but look 14. I tell her to have a good day and go back to my job. After all, I do work here, lady. Our last story for today. To whoever's grandma this was, tell her I'm sorry for yelling at her. So, I'm 20 male, and I have strep throat. My whole house has it, and I'd just gone to urgent care to ask for antibiotics. They sent it to the pharmacy down the road. I pull into this pharmacy wearing flannel pants and a sweatshirt with the hood pulled up and a mask on. When this very elderly woman grabs my arm. Here's how the situation went. Me. Please don't touch me. Mima, could you help me open this case? She points at a locked case behind me. Me, no, sorry. I don't work here. Please don't touch me. Mima, no, I'm sure you do. Just unlock the case for me, I need that saline spray. At this point, I notice that she seems very confused, and I'm definitely not helping. But now, her nails are digging into my arm, and I have a horrible fever. Me, please don't touch me. I'm very sick, I'm here for my medicine. Her, just open the case. Me, a little louder than I'd intended, ma'am. Get your hands off of me, I don't know you and I'm very sick. At this point, someone who actually works there comes running and manages to both pry her hands off of me and actually open the case. I just got my antibiotics and hightailed it out of there. I have a bunch of questions about what happened, none of which were answered. I don't know if she had someone with her, and given how confused she seemed, she definitely needed someone. I doubt she could drive herself. I've been thinking about this all day, and I really wonder if that woman's alright. And those are all the stories we have for today. See you tomorrow.